If you've got a Quest 3 or a Quest 3S and you've wondered what is the most photorealistic graphics that I can try on any app, then there is one you need to actually try called the Hyperscape Demo. This has been available for a short time in the US, but now it's actually passing outside the US. And I actually got to try an early demo of it at Meta Connect this year. Basically, this is an app that you would be able to take photos with an iPhone of an area, and it recreates the environment even with depth. And when you first put it on and you get into this app, it will blow you away. For a moment, you'll look around and everything in these shops looks so detailed and so real. You have to teleport around, but you can move some physically. But then once you start to look closer at the details, you start to notice where things aren't perfect, where the photo smeared a little bit or where something didn't quite translate into VR exactly. But as it stands right now, it is the absolute best example you can see of what it would be like to actually teleport from one location to another. And they told us there the future of this is that people are going to be able to use their own phones, take pictures of their own environments, translate them into a virtual world like this, and you could in theory have your family come see your new house from across the world through their Quest without ever setting foot in the home. The app is available totally free if you want to check it out. It is a demo and it does have a pretty rough rating of about a 3.3 because the first few weeks when it came out, it needed a patch and it wasn't working. During that time, it got a bunch of low reviews just saying it's not working, they can't get it to work. But you can see after the update, and even people talking about the update in the reviews, people saying it's incredible. The detail you can see in everything that you're looking at, and just really shows you an image of what the future of VR could actually look like. For those of you looking for a tower defense game, one finally launched on the Quest and it snuck past us in our upcoming games lists. Forte Casa is a mixed reality game that's currently out in early access and has a 5-star rating, although it looks like a lot of people haven't found out about it yet. The game strikes a balance between you trying to produce energy in the game while mining gold to keep your towers powered and have enough money to keep upgrading them so that you can fight off the waves of enemies. Only a couple written reviews so far, all of them 5-star, people saying they love the game. People saying the game is great fun, talking about how they were able to get all the way up to high levels before they died as they've gotten better at the game. People saying it's easily worth the $10 price tag, and mentioning how the mixed reality can get a little bogged down, but they continue to add updates to it to try and make it run smoother and keep on growing. Even since its launch in September, the game has had a lot of updates to try and smooth it out. You can still feel it's in early access, but even right now, instead of $10, it's on sale for $5, and there's a free trial if you want to check it out first. Thanks to them for sponsoring this week's news, and if you haven't checked it out already, I'll leave some links down below in the comments and description to get to it. We've talked a couple times about the rumors circulating so far about what the Quest 4 might mean, with Meta seeming to confirm that it will come in 2026. Well, recently a posting dropped for a focus group that some VR enthusiasts who have really good track records of knowing what's going on behind the scenes, you probably know I'm talking about Luna on Twitter by now, showed off as something that might be around the Quest 4. Project Pismo, opportunity to test new tech on site in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it shows it as one of the Burlingame buildings on the Meta campus. About 6 hours after posting this was pulled back down, but it described a wearable tech device that will record the user's facial expressions and eye movements as well as voice capture. This also coinciding with a July report saying that the Quest 4 was codenamed Pismo, all pointing towards the fact that maybe the Quest 4 is going to bring back face and eye tracking, something we haven't seen since the Quest Pro or other headsets like the Vive Premium lineup. This is an early focus group years away, but it would make sense that a Quest 4 would at least bring back eye tracking if nothing else, as we've seen eye tracking has been able to really help the power of headsets like the PSVR 2 deliver even better graphical fidelity without having the hardware necessarily to back that up. And for the Quest 4 to be a decent leap from the Quest 3 but still be using these mobile chipsets that it uses, something like foveated rendering with eye tracking would make a big difference. It'd be interesting to see if they brought back facial tracking though. That was an interesting feature on the Quest Pro because although it really added to social games when people could see you open your mouth or stick your tongue out, it didn't really do much for you personally wearing the headset yourself because you never really noticed that it was doing anything. But some publications like Upload VR speculating how putting those downward facing cameras could serve a dual purpose of also helping track your body. It's interesting to think about, and we are a long ways out. We just got the Quest 3S, which is basically the light version of the 3, so it's going to be a couple years before we see something new and innovative in the Quest family, most likely, although we've seen Meta has gotten used to launching something every year, so that would leave a pretty big gap if nothing comes out next year. The 3S has just launched and already Meta is saying it is a big success. Mark Rapkin, the VP of VR over at Meta, and someone we actually got to meet over at Meta Connect, saying on Twitter that right now the most important thing for VR is to grow the total audience, and the Quest 3S is already doing that, bringing in the highest share of new to Quest users since the Quest 2. Of course, they don't give us exact numbers because Meta never seems to do that, but it's not a big surprise because if you think about it, the Quest 3S is actually the cheapest headset Meta has ever dropped. $299 is the same price you got for the Quest 2 years ago, so if you account for inflation, it's actually about $50 cheaper. Inflation right now would put put $299 from 2021 at $351, and it includes Batman Free, which is a $50 game as well, and it also does full color mixed reality pass-through, enabling all kinds of XR games. Although personally I've said if you can hold out and afford the actual Quest 3, it is still by far the better headset, those pancake lenses, and it feels so next gen. But really, the Quest 3S is a great price for a heck of a headset that you get, and hopefully it's really going to fill that spot in the market for people who have wanted to get into VR for years. Finally see a nice, capable headset for a low price of less than $300, and it's also twice the storage that the Quest 2 came with back then too. So one more reason it's an even better deal. If you still haven't gotten yours, there'll be links in the comments and description down below to go get one. For those of you excited about VR but looking for something besides gaming to do with it, there's going to be 52 NBA games this season that'll be streamed in 180-degree VR, meaning you can look from side to side with your actual physical head in the headset, totally free on Quest. And that means whether you have a Quest 2, Pro, 3, 3S, you can sit courtside through the Xstadium XR sports viewing app, totally free. And there's even NASCAR, UFC fights for the Fight Pass subscribers. And if this is the first time you've heard about it, you have missed a few games already this year, but there's tons of different games you can see here on the screen coming that you can watch fully immersed in VR like you're actually there courtside. The cool thing is it actually allows you to jump between different cameras as well if you want to, so you're not just stuck in that courtside seat, you can see other angles. Or you can even take to Meta Horizon Worlds, if anybody does that. I bag on Meta Horizon Worlds. I know that a lot of people actually enjoy the app. There's actually an NBA arena where you can play other games and still watch the NBA games. Sports seems like such a good fit for VR, but the problem is it can put you alone watching it, where a lot of people get together, watch sports in their living room, so it is a little different. But I'm curious, if you've ever watched sports in your headset, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's a good way to do it? If you're still hoping to get your hands on a Quest 3 or a Quest 3S this holiday season, but you haven't quite sprung for it yet, our channel's currently doing a couple giveaways right now, a Quest 3 and a Quest 3S, and Bobo VR is hosting a giveaway, giving away an accessories package of theirs. If you've missed those, there will be a link down to our link tree in the comments and description down below that gives you all of our current giveaways, and they're all kept there too, because sometimes we pop in game ones and stuff too. But if you haven't already entered, that is to say thank you so much to all of you for bringing us to 90,000 subscribers. It's absolutely huge. It's amazing. And we're moving so fast. I don't know. It's possible you may share the channel with enough of your friends. We might actually hit 100,000 by the end of the year. It'd be a big goal, but who knows? All of you out there have surprised me so many times before. So thank you so much once again. Not only is the Quest 3S selling really well, but it does seem like a lot of marketing efforts have been made so far to help that happen. I saw even today on Amazon, the whole top banner was Batman Quest 3S bundles. But also an interesting thing that Meta's been doing is taking a Batman Arkham Shadow demo experience to the road. Most likely there won't be many of these left, but most of you out there either probably have a headset or are very interested in getting a headset. But the idea is these tours are happening all over the US and Canada so that people can come try out a headset, try Batman, and then ultimately try to convince them to buy one. Taking place in New Jersey, Toronto, Dallas, Texas, potentially even landing in Las Vegas as well. Kind of an odd smattering of places to go, but a cool idea. Some journalists actually got to go to one of the ones in New Jersey and try it out, and they said they were using Quest 3Ss, but they had them set up with the breathable interface. Really good, because Batman is a very active game. But we saw all kinds of billboards for Batman, even in Germany and other places we've been traveling lately. So they're definitely ramping it up for this holiday season. For years now, we've all been waiting on a Valve Deckard or some sort of Valve VR headset to follow up the Index. Well, we still don't have any news on that, but they are releasing hand tracking pass-through now for Steam Link, which does make the Quest an even better headset for PCVR. This was something that was only available in beta, but now there's full hand tracking support to Steam VR's UI. It still isn't the simplest of processes, but it is allowing for Quest users to basically set up bindings so that they can do hand tracking themselves. There have been continued references to the Deckard and people still fueling that rumor fire, but as we know with Valve, they can test something or potentially work on something for years and never release it. So until we get official news from them, I unfortunately am not holding my breath on a Deckard ever coming to existence. I'm hoping it's not locked away with Half-Life 3, but what do you think? We've talked about Quest Plus before on the channel. If you don't know what it is a subscription-based service, kind of like PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass, where as long as you continue to pay $8 a month, you keep getting new games added free that you can download that month and then keep if you keep the subscription. And then there's also a catalog of back games that you get access to. Some pretty obscure titles this month: Space Folk City, Warplanes World War I Fighters, and then more to the catalog like Guardians Frontline, No More Rainbows, which is actually a really cool game, Cubism, and then Space Pirate Trainer. For a long time now, I've been one to say that, like, for me, MetaQuest Plus really isn't worth it, especially as someone who has a lot of the games already that would be in this backlog. But it is starting to finally become a lot more valuable, and the value proposition is really there. Not only does Quest Plus have now a pretty good backlog, they did Asgard's Wrath 2 as an addition to the catalog, which is like a $60 game, and you can get the subscription for $60 a year, so So that right there essentially pays for it, as long as you're going to keep the subscription. But also now they're giving Quest Plus subscribers big discounts on other games outside of it. So it makes me wonder how many of you out there actually use it, or did you get the 6-month trial when you got a Quest 3 with it, and how many of you kept it? I definitely personally think now for new users to VR, it's definitely something to consider. Or if you've been around a long time, you just haven't really built up your game library because you just don't really have that much money to spend on old games, it's also another thing to consider. But what do you think out there? I'd love to know in the comments down below. I want to say thank you once again for being here with me, for bringing us to 90,000 subscribers and giving us so many successful and amazing years. We got some more stuff coming up, another travel opportunity, a big launch party for one of the big games coming. I'm really excited to show you all of that. So watch out here on the channel, but thank you, and I'll see you in another reality.